Okay. All right, now we're recording, I think. I hope. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, as I said, some of this stuff might sound like it's really achievable and really simple to some of you. And then some of it also may sound like it just requires a lot of dedication and time and energy. And whichever group of these that you fall into is totally fine. For some of the things, you might find that it's actually quite simple or easy sounding. And for some of it, it might be the other way around. So yeah, either group that you're in, just know that you're not alone, because I've experienced both of those with all of these meditations and tools that I'm going to share with you guys. So as I've written here, it's a short workshop to bring about peace, presence, calmness, and freedom. And what inspired me to do this was I have a lot of friends that are, that have lost their jobs. And I also have a lot of friends that have been busting their butts harder than ever just because of the demand of some of these industries right now. So I've created this with the intention of just easing a little bit off of people and also bringing a bit of more purpose and freedom to individuals in their lives. So, screen share, cool. So the overview, basically, I'm going to introduce you guys to 2 different meditations. Now, these will help you bring about calmness and presence, and as well, they help with stress relief. So very different than stress release, which essentially means that you will experience stress through these meditations, but these ones you will not. So they only bring like a level of placidness into your life and just calmness and ease and presence. I will also share with you guys an exercise that will help you live each day with a fulfilling sense of purpose, no matter what you're doing, and it's super simple. And the last thing is that I will share with you a technique that will allow you to free yourself from your monkey mind. So if you do have a journal or a notepad or something on your computer at hand, you're going to need that, because I'm going to walk you through that exercise. So, sorry, my first time going through the slideshow. All right, so for the meditations, before I actually introduce the 2 meditations that I'm going to share with you guys, I'm just going to give you a little kind of briefing on just meditation in this practice and what to kind of expect and what it's for. So does everybody here have a fairly established meditation practice? Or are you guys like, meh, I've meditated once or twice?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Yeah, okay, cool. So you guys probably understand then that meditation is something that is meant to relax us. Now, the actual intention behind these meditations is to promote proper functioning of the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the nervous system that helps us rest and digest and kind of be at ease. And it alleviates a little bit of tension for the sympathetic nervous system, which is the flight or fight mode. So it kind of creates a greater gap between the event or action and the reaction. So do you guys know what I mean by that, this gap? Yeah, kind of, sort of. A little? All right, I'll explain it quickly. So basically, you can picture in the morning, maybe you're a huge coffee fiend. I use coffee a lot in my analogies. And you really want this beautiful cup of coffee, but then your coffee machine breaks. And perhaps for a non-meditator, they would have an immediate reaction and maybe get a little bit angry. Whereas for a meditator, there would be a great enough gap between the coffee maker breaking and them actually having some sort of emotional trigger from that. And in that gap, that's where there is the opportunity to be able to transform the way that we react. So meditation gives us essentially a greater gap here. Does that make sense? Yeah? Cool. Okay, so my suggestion for meditation is to do it twice per day, even if it's only for like 2 minutes each time. It's almost like a revamp that we're giving ourselves partway through the day. So you can kind of think of it as a cup of coffee, but instead of a cup of coffee, it's a meditation. And same with whether it be 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. My biggest suggestion is twice per day. So once right when you get up in the morning, and then once either in the afternoon or evening. Now, of course, this is like fully just what I'm basing, my own practice off of and stuff, and my own experience. So please, I'm not telling anybody what to do. Do as you wish. But yeah. So when we are meditating in these practices specifically, you want to make sure that you're in a position where you're completely awake and aware. So you're not lying down, you're not really slouching over, but you're welcome, of course, to sit up against a wall and have your back straight, the crown of your head pulled up, and just sit comfortably in a way that feels good for you and for your body. And also sit in a way that makes you feel alert and aware. So you're not kind of like dozing off or falling asleep. Now, this will happen in meditations, and in some practices, it's a way of releasing fatigue, which is actually really a good thing. So yeah, but just for the ones that I teach you, no lying down or anything like that, although that can be really useful in other practices. So something that can be really good to bring into our practice is intention setting. So what I mean by that is, I'm not necessarily saying that you have to enter your practice and then sit there and say to yourself, okay, I am present and that's my intention. And this can, of course, be a great intention, but I mean something that's a little bit more perhaps a question that you're entering your meditation with, or a greater intention. So from this meditation, I want to be able to come out feeling brighter and happier and more present and more at ease and more calm. So you have something that's like a little bit more tangible instead of I am present. Now, if I am present feels tangible for you, then please go nuts and dive into that. Another great thing that you could do entering a meditation is going in with a question. So if there's a decision that you had been trying to make recently, perhaps you're, thinking about going home or thinking about going on a trip next year or whatever it may be, and you're trying to debate between two things, just present that as you enter the meditation, and then start your meditation, and don't worry about the question or the answer as you're in your meditation. Allow it to just come to you naturally. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, great. The last thing with this is you don't want to have any expectations, because then that's when you can lead to a little bit of disappointment. I'm sure that you guys have experienced having expectations before and them not being met, whether it be by yourself or by somebody else. So do your best as you enter these meditations, even if you do it with an intention or with a question that you want to be answered, without any sort of expectation. Cool? Awesome. All right. All I need is the head nods, and then I'm like, okay, we're good to move on. So I'm going to teach you guys these two meditation practices. Now, one of them is Anapana. The other one is just counting the breath. I don't know if it has an official name, so I've just called it that. And who's familiar with Anapana? Anybody? No? Yeah? Okay, so have you done Vipassana before?
Yes.
Okay.
We both did Vipassana, so I think that's where we know Apana.
Awesome. So Anapana is, the reason I ask if they did Vipassana is because it's what you spend the first 3 days doing when you do a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat. And the intention behind Anapana, one of the main intentions, is to sharpen the mind. So you're focusing on a very small area of your face. So what I'll share with you guys today is a small triangle reaching from about the outsides of your nostrils down to the outsides of your lips, and then to the upper lips, okay? And all you want to do as you breathe naturally is just focus on this little small triangle. So you may notice things like perspiration if you're in Peru, like you guys, or Thailand, like myself. You may notice a little bit of heat as you exhale out your nose, and you may notice maybe a little bit of cooler air as you breathe inside your nose. You could feel a bit of tingling everyone has a different experience, but the idea behind Anapana is that you keep your breath as natural as possible. So you don't want to try to breathe, try to inhale, try to exhale. You just allow it to be. Now, this can be incredibly challenging. So if you do, try to breathe by accident, please don't give yourself a hard time. Again, no expectations, right? So just be super mindful of almost breathing like you're driving a car. So just nice and relaxed, natural breath. Cool. And yeah, does anybody have any questions about the Anapana practice itself as of now? No? Okay. So we're just going to spend about a minute or two with this practice together, just so we can make sure that we kind of have our heads and minds and everything wrapped around it. So again, for this practice, make sure that you're sitting up nice and tall, your shoulders away from your ears, and your spine is as long as possible, but still feeling nice and grounded with your sit bones. All right, so wherever you are, you can allow your eyes to close as long as you're comfortable doing so. And to begin, just to settle in, we're going to bring in one engaged breath. So wherever you are in your breath, take an exhale from here. And then take one full inhale through the nose. And exhale. Beautiful. And slowly begin to draw your attention to just your natural breath. And bringing this attention of your natural breath to the space that's just below the nostrils and above the upper lip. So again, you may notice some sort of sensations. You may feel the air moving smoothly in and out of the bottom of your nose. And I invite you for the next 30 seconds or so for us to just sit in silence with complete awareness to this small triangle below the nostrils and above the upper lip. And you can slowly begin to bring your attention back to the space that you're in. Maybe taking one or two fully engaged breaths. And as you feel ready, wherever you are, you can slowly begin to open your eyes. So I know this was very short, but I also just want to respect everybody's time. But how did everybody go with that one? Was it challenging? Was it easy? Do you need to practice more to figure it out?
I thought it was enjoyable. I have kind of not done it in a long while because you do the full body scan.
Yeah.
And it was very nice to feel how the sensations get a bit stronger, even in a short amount of time.
Yeah, totally. Hey. So imagine too what it would be like after 10 minutes or so, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never done that one before.
Yeah. Was it accessible for you to just kind of naturally watch your breath?
So I've never naturally watched my breath for that long. So it was interesting because I'm used to I don't know, changing my breath, I guess, usually when I go into meditation. So I was like, oh, this is kind of nice to just not be trying to do something
Yeah.
almost.
Yeah, totally. Hey.
And I like
And
the concentrating on this area for some reason. I liked it.
a lot happens here. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, cool. Awesome. Olivia, you went well, hey?
Yeah. I've done it previously with your meditations that you've sent us. So, but I love it. It always makes me feel like so much at ease and peaceful. Even like the first 3 seconds I'm in.
Yeah, awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Good one, girl. Yeah, it can be a really euphoric practice. And like I mentioned before, it's done for 3 whole days in the Vipassana retreats. So it's like impeccable at sharpening your mind. And in Vipassana, you're essentially doing body scans. And as you do these body scans, the size of each area of focus can be as small as like this big. And so by focusing on this area, you're able more and more to focus on small areas. So if you do practice this meditation every day, you might begin to notice that you can just like close your eyes and say to yourself, okay, I want to bring my attention to the left side of my forehead, about an inch above my eyebrow. And you might actually be able to feel that space, which is kind of cool. So the second meditation that I'll introduce you to you guys, again, I just called it Counting the Breath. This one was introduced to me by this Buddhist monk that I became, I guess, kind of friends with, and he was a bit of a teacher to me when I was living in Sri Lanka last year. And this was when I was really starting to play with the same styles of meditation every single day, and I was trying to really just commit to one for X amount of years to come. And so this was one of the ones that I ended up trying out for quite a while until I was introduced to Vedic meditation, which is what I practice now. And with this, it's very simple. You're allowed to have a natural breath, or you can have an engaged breath. So it's whatever you guys prefer. And there's 3 kinds of levels for this one. So one of which is counting to 3 is the first level. The second level is counting to 10, and the third level is counting to 100. And you're also welcome to count backwards if you find that this helps with your focus a little bit. So essentially what you're doing is just counting your breath. So you can, as you inhale, you say inhale 1, as you exhale, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2. You can either do that, or you can just simply count 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so on. It's really just up to you and your preference. But what is great about this meditation is that it, like, almost in a high speed way, relaxes both of your nervous systems. So your parasympathetic nervous system is like really on point in this meditation, whereas your sympathetic nervous system is just like slowing right down. So as far as the effects on, our sense of calmness and ease and stress, this one can be quite powerful. And the 3 levels are essentially just set there. So if you get bored with counting to 3 and you find that you can continuously do it over and over again, no problem, then do count to 10. And if you continue to get to 10 over and over again, no problem, then make your way to 100. And the idea is that at any point, if you lose track of where you are, so you start repeating numbers, or maybe you get so lost in thought that you are like, what number was I even on again? Like, was I in the 20s? Was I in the 50s? I have no idea. Then you simply just start back at 1 again. And it's not a punishment. It's just like a reset. Okay. So if at any point, you're repeating the same number, 777, what am I having for dinner tomorrow? Ooh, that sounds really good. Oh, wait. Okay. Start back at 1 again. Okay. So again, not a punishment, just a way of having a restart. And with both of these meditations, I suggest just setting a timer for yourself, you know, anywhere between 2 minutes to 20 minutes, I would say, whatever you're comfortable with, but really trying to put a practice in place for yourself every single day. You know, 2 minutes can actually do wonders if you practice every single day. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it can be really powerful. So, does anybody have any questions about this particular meditation? We're okay? Cool. All right, so we'll practice this one again just for about 1 or 2 minutes or so, just as a respect for time. And then you're welcome to come back to this as many times as you want. I will also, if you guys want, send you the recording of this if you'd like to come back to it. I can send you the slideshow too. So, again, get in a comfortable seat, and you can just rest your hands in your lap or wherever feels natural for you. Make sure that your spine is nice and long, the crown of your head is slightly pulled up, and your sit bones are grounding into the space below you. And again, we'll just start the meditation by, wherever you are, taking an exhale. And then take one full inhale. And release. And then bringing attention to either your natural or engaged breath, whatever you prefer to do. And slowly begin to count your breath. So starting at 1 and counting 1 whole round of breath. So 1 inhale and exhale together as just 1. And for now, we'll just count up to either 3 or 10, whichever you wish to do. And again, if at any point you become lost in the numbers, you start repeating the numbers, or you're lost in thought, no worries, just give yourself a restart and come back to 1. And we'll spend the next 30 or 40 seconds just in silence, taking on this practice. And slowly begin to bring yourself back into the space. Letting go of the counting of your breath. And as you feel ready, you may slowly begin to open your eyes. Beauty. How did you all go with this one?
That one was good. That one was one that I've done a lot, but like it was a little bit different. So I kind of liked learning some new ways to
Awesome.
use that one.
Cool.
I've been using this a lot in my yoga classes because I feel it's a good trick to get people to meditate without being intimidating. Like I don't calling a meditation. I just say like, yeah, let's just close our eyes and count our breath for 2 minutes, and people kind of have something to do. And yeah, it really calms them down in my experience when they come to a yoga class and they're kind of still thinking about other stuff. This is a very good
method, or yeah.
To calm down, and I always enjoy it. It's very nice.
Yeah. I love that you say that you're like, yeah, I kind of just almost trick them into meditating. That's awesome. Cool.
I think it can become very easy, I think, and somebody told me the next level can be to also visualize the number, like to have it kind of have the number in front of you visually.
That's a
rather
good
than
idea.
just thinking the number, which still leaves a lot of space for thought, I think sometimes. Like you can actually think 7, have some thoughts and still not lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the visualization, you have something more to work on.
That's a really good idea, actually. Thanks for introducing that to us.
No problem.
Yeah, cool. Olivia, what were you going to say?
And I was just gonna say it's the only meditation where I don't have any thoughts interfering, when I can actually really focus. And and like so it's the one I find most easy to do.
Like the most easy
like
to just hone in your
focus.
concentration?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to hear. Cool. I'm glad you all are having epic times with these meditations. Sweet. Okay, so yeah, no one has any questions or anything about that before we move on to something more purposeful? Okay, sweet. So, purpose. Now, I will come to this in just a second, the questions that I wrote down. But as I mentioned in the beginning, my intention behind this purpose section of this workshop is so that you guys have a tool to be able to move through your day with a sense of purpose. Again, no matter what you're doing, no matter what your job is, no matter if you have a job, if you have a million jobs, it doesn't matter. But giving you like this deeper sense of purpose throughout this. Now, the first question that I have here is, what is one thing you want to complete throughout the day? So the reason I say this must be a gift to yourself is my wholehearted suggestion, especially if you own your own business or something, please don't make it business related. So it may feel really good because the one thing that you want to check off your list is perhaps a big project or something that you just need to kind of get out there, and it will feel like a weight off your shoulders. But let's take that away from the intention behind this exercise. And I say that because I really want to encourage that whatever you guys choose, it's a complete gift to yourself. So something that will really feed you in some sort of way. So this could be anything from like, having a nice warm bath for 30 minutes that's completely uninterrupted, or taking yourself out for a delicious coffee at your favorite coffee shop, or maybe you're going to give yourself a half hour to journal, like whatever it may be, but make a commitment to do that one thing and make it non-negotiable. So no matter what happens, you have this date with yourself, and maybe it is even, a date with a partner or something that involves other people, but is really a good gift for you. So it can be like one other person, a group of people, just yourself. It doesn't matter as long as it feels like a treat. And bringing this in every single day. So again, anything from like maybe a big event that you're going to journaling for 15 minutes or having a cup of tea while you look at, your front yard or whatever that may be. And yeah, make that strong commitment to do this one thing and don't turn away from it. Okay? Because then you're cheating on yourself and you don't want to do that. So when you do move through with purpose, now, Olivia, you'll recognize this from Shoes of a Yogi, which is a program I'm doing right now. And this purpose will have 3 intentions behind it. So if you guys are familiar with yoga philosophy, which I'm assuming that everybody is at least mildly, the first 3 yamas I have written here. So ahimsa is nonviolence. Basically make sure that this thing is completely kind and loving towards yourself, and again isn't something like business related or something that you feel like you have to do, right? It's a gift that you're giving to yourself. It's truthful to what you really desire, and you know, you're doing something that you deeply want in your heart, and maybe even your ego is kind of wanting it too. And then lastly, you're not stealing anything from yourself. So you're giving yourself that opportunity and that time to be fully present with yourself or these other people while you do this one thing. And just remembering too that you are completely worth it, which is why I put non-stealing here, because it's very easy for us to give gifts to ourselves, like I'm gonna sit and have a cup of coffee and not, you know, be on my phone or not try to work or not try to read or do anything. I'm just gonna sit here with it and enjoy this view. And it can be really challenging sometimes to keep ourselves in the moment and not be thinking about the million other things that maybe we want to do or have to do throughout the day. I can definitely feel into that, and I'm sure everyone else is familiar with what I'm speaking about. And lastly, notice why it's important for you to do this one thing. So if you make this commitment to yourself, say in the morning or maybe the night before the next day, be clear on your why. You know, so why is it so important for you to be able to sit and have this cup of coffee? You know, and then that will also help you follow through with this commitment, and it will give you this deeper sense of purpose when you know your why, because you can only kind of live through the how and the what so much. And yeah, do you guys have any questions about that? No, or any like whatevers? Cool. Okay, so the last thing is freedom. So this is a tool that I'm just going to kind of give a shout out to my teachers that own an organization called Self-Tracked, as they inspired this tool. And I did one very similar to this for about 50 days, and it completely changed, like it reprogrammed my brain in a way and made it so that instead of taking the time to do this exercise that I'm going to introduce you guys to, it made it so that it was like an automatic thought process that I began to bring myself through. So if you do really want to make like a massive shift with this tool, I suggest committing to it for an amount of time. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's a few weeks, maybe it's, I know people who have done it for 100 days. But yeah, it in time becomes like almost an innate thing. So, and not just like a journaling exercise, which is what it is in the beginning. So, this is where you're going to need a journal or something. So make sure you have that ready. And I want you all to think of something, a specific moment that happened recently that perhaps you're not so proud of, or maybe you're a little bit ashamed by, even something that could have required a mindset shift, or something that could have required an action shift. So I'll give you guys a couple examples. I just realized I have someone in the waiting room, so I'm just gonna let them in. So for example, maybe you're on your phone too much, okay? And if you're on your phone too much, that's, you know, distracting you or whatever. It's just not something that you're proud of and not something that you want to be indulging in every single day. Perhaps this one thing is you were rude to your partner last night about something that, you know, maybe you couldn't have been rude to them about. Or maybe you got angry at somebody, or, you know, it could be like anything like that, or you just reacted poorly to a situation. Is everybody fairly clear on what I'm getting at here? Yeah, okay. So the first question that we'll look at is what happened exactly. So I'll give you guys like a minute or two just to write down exactly what happened and try to be as objective as possible. So the idea for this is that you are 100% honest, and you're almost picturing it like you're watching a movie or something. So it's very clear, very unbiased. Okay, I'll give you guys a minute. If you have any questions, just let me know. Okay. So do your best to wrap that question up. All right. Now, the next question is, what impact did this event have on you or others? So by that, I mean, how did it make you or the other person feel if there was somebody else involved? How did, for example, if it was being on your phone, how did this take away from your day or take away from your presence in the moment? Or maybe you kind of treated yourself like crap because of that. So yeah, what impact did this event have on you or others? And again, if you have any questions or need some clarity, just let me know. And I'll give you about a minute. Okay. So you can wrap it up if you haven't already. And I just realized that I have a typo here, so please forgive that. Okay. And then the next question is, if you had the chance for a do-over, what would you have liked the situation to look like? So if, you got into a heated argument with somebody that you loved and you were maybe a little bit reactive, if you had the chance for a do-over, how would you have reacted? Or what would that situation have looked like? And again, I'll give you a minute. Okay, and I'll ask you guys to wrap up the answer. And the last question, and this is where the freedom tends to step in, is what will you commit to moving forward? So perhaps this could be kind of twofold. So the first thing is, is there a conversation that you need to have, or somebody you need to apologize to, or something that you need to clear up because of what already happened? And secondly, is there a shift that you want to make? So perhaps, again, coming back to the phone example, you will set a timer from now on for 10 minutes so that if you're on Instagram for more than 10 minutes, this timer goes off and you can get off your phone. Or is it that anytime you feel perhaps a little bit triggered from an argument with somebody that you love, you're going to give yourself permission to take 3 breaths before you react? This sort of thing. Again, if you need clarity, let me know, and I'll give you guys about a minute. Okay, so you can wrap up your answer. Beauty. All right, so I'll go back. Again, if you didn't get all the questions written down, no worries. I can send you the questions. I can send you the slideshow, and I can send you a link to the video. Just let me know. But yeah, do you guys have any questions at all about the process of this, these 4 questions to go through in order to get this sense of freedom essentially from yourself, or anything that you guys want to say? Okay, awesome. We're all on the same page then. So one last thing that I want to say is this kind of stuff has a ripple effect, right? So I have you guys here. I had about 8 people at the other workshop that I did. And this is, I'm one person and I'm sharing these things with now, I guess, 11 of you. And you guys have the opportunity too to share this and other amazing knowledge that you know with other people around you. And even if it's just one person or 2 people, or, you know, just, it doesn't have to be a big number, but I just really want to encourage, I'm sure you guys all do this on some sort of level, but to be sharing like this knowledge and wisdom, not necessarily that you've just learned in the last 45 minutes, but that you've learned, you know, in other parts of your life or through other means, through other classes that you've done and workshops that you've done, because this ripple effect that can be created can create an absolutely evolutionary change in life. And I think that granted where the world is at right now, we're in need of it, and we're in need of people like you guys who are open-minded and willing and, you know, wanting to move forward in a beautiful way. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there, like, please feel free to share these things, share other things that you've learned. Yeah, don't be shy with it. And just to remember that we actually have to do something to make a change. So I would so love to hear if you guys did implement any of these 4 things that I've shared with you. Send me a message. You all have some means of reaching me or contacting me. I would love to hear the impact of them if they did. And I really encourage bringing them about in your everyday life to the best of your ability, because they will make massive shifts for you, like even in a week. Also, just for fun, so big love and vibe high, because I'm all about love and vibing high. And I have my website listed at the bottom here, but I think you guys all know how to access it anyways. And on the front page of my website, I created it's completely free. It's just like an ebook that you can download, which is like how to find your life purpose. And it's 10 questions or 10 steps that you have to move through. And I'm not necessarily, of course, guaranteeing that you're going to be like, oh, I know the meaning of the world now that I finished this process, but it could really help with just bringing some clarity onto what are the things that you really value the most, and some of the themes that are the most clear for you guys as well, and some of the most pivotal moments that you've had. So again, it's totally free. It's like 5 pages and quite a fun read as well. So yeah, if you're interested, check it out. And you can just go to my website. It's on the front page, and that's it. Yeah. And thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm so grateful. And again, keep in touch. Let me know if you implement this stuff. And yeah, big love to everybody.
Big love to you.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank
evening.
you.
You
Take care.
guys too. Have a beautiful day, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.